Our job is hard. It's hard to cycle during storm. It's hard to cycle in Ireland in winter. It's very hard this, and as well we are facing a lot of problems on the streets with local gangs. All right, my name is Gabriel. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Mexico. And I've been working as a delivery rider for 2 years. And I'm currently studying a higher diploma in computing. I think it's not fair for us because most of the people maybe don't see like our job or we are doing is important more in this pandemic. We are keeping people inside the house. We are delivering their food. We are trying to do our best, and people don't see that, and a lot of people as well think that we are doing something wrong in this country, or we are like taking jobs, or we are something that is not fair for the country as well. But I mean, we are just working. We are not trying to do anything wrong. In my case, I'm doing this because I have to pay my fees, I have to pay my rent, I have to pay my college, and sometimes I have to send money back to my country. So we are trying to get what we deserve because it's a very hard job.
So I decided to change career really when, or start to think about it, I suppose, when lockdown came along, and I started to think about, what was I really doing? Like, so I was spending a lot of time, a lot of energy, and I really enjoyed my job, but it was sucking up a lot of my headspace. And I never would have thought of this until we went into lockdown and everything started to change. And I think a lot of people started to think differently about, what they did every day and their roles in life and that kind of thing. My name is Rory Prendergast. I live and work in Galway, and I work with entrepreneurs to help them reach their goals faster than they can on their own. I get up at 5:45 in the morning, and then I have a routine that I run through in the morning. That starts with doing some meditation. Then I have kind of what I call a mindset manual, which I read. I do some visualization, and then I do a thing called a daily debrief, where I look at what happened yesterday and I try and learn something like what could I have improved or what did I do really well that I can carry into the next day. So I want to kind of build this compound improvement. And so that's kind of the work I do on my mind in the morning. And once that's done, then I go out for a 5K run, and I'm really lucky where I live because it's 2.5 kilometre run for me, brings me down to the sea. And from there, I go for a dip in the ocean all year round, whether it's snowing or hail or whatever, I still do that. And then 2.5K run back. So I've had a 5K run and I've had a swim, and obviously I've done some stretching and that kind of thing. And then I really feel like I'm ready to take on the day at that point. And that's hugely beneficial to me in terms of focus and in terms of energy. And then once that's done, it's time to just get ready and get my son ready for school. And again, where we live, we're so lucky that we walk around the back of our house, walk down the street, drop my son at school, and I just continue on to work. It's another 10 minutes walk, so it's like about 15 minutes from I leave the house until I get in here and put on my first coffee, sit down at my desk, and I've got my plan done from the day before, and I start into that.
Sometimes myself, I'm making just €3, €5, 1 hour, maybe less. It depends as well. If the day is busy, you can make more than the minimum wage, that is €10. So sometimes you can make 12 or even 15, but it depends from the day of the week and as well how the weather is. If it's raining and it's like storm or bad conditions, there are lack of riders, so you can get more orders. But we are trying to get better work conditions and get more money per delivery. Now the minimum per delivery is €2.90. When I started to work, it was €4.20, if something like that. It was 2 years ago. Then it changed and it dropped until €2.90 the per order, and you can make until €7, but you have to cycle far, far away. So, we are trying to change this because, Deliveroo now is in the IPO in London. So during this pandemic or this year, the company increased their wealth, and us we are making less money, meanwhile the owners are making more and more and more money. So we think that that cannot be possible, because if they are becoming richer and we are becoming poorer, so there is inequality, and we have to change this.
So the pandemic has definitely changed the way I view work, but in the way I suppose that it made me just stop and think. Because I think we all get caught up in this thing that we just make this assumption. You get a job, right, and you just go into it and you just keep going. And it's very rare that you actually get the time to stop and think about, really, what am I doing here, you know? And the pandemic, that's what the change the pandemic made for me, because it just made that quick break for me that allowed me just to, you know, take the time, and it didn't take much time, to be honest, but to really consider, what am I doing? Like, why do we go to work the way we do? Why do we take on these roles? Why do we allow all our energy to go into a job? You know, there are times that needs to happen, but does it have to be like that all the time? And so what I started to look for something that was simpler, and I'm looking again at even further simplifying this, and looking at, like, the question that I have on my mind at the moment is, like, what does simple really look like? And then how do I make my work get there? So, you know, okay, so the Fridays working 4 days a week is one thing, but then, you know, cutting it back to 4 o'clock is something else. But there's more to it than that, right? So how could it be even simpler? Like, how could, you know, how could I work even more differently? And so I always like to think about, well, what would the ideal situation look like, and then see how I can map my way towards that, rather than looking like, you know, what's the problem today and how can I fix some of those problems, right? Because that kind of gives me a better solution at the end. So looking at, well, what would simple, enjoyable work look like to me, and then I'll build that.
To make the money that I need to survive. So I'm trying to work at least 30 hours, because otherwise I cannot pay the amount that I need per month. My college is, I mean, the studies here, the life here in general is expensive. So we have to work, I mean, harder. I avoid certain areas to deliver now. Before, well, when I was new, nobody told me, you don't go to this area, don't go to this hood, don't go there after this hour. I learned this because I was attacked twice. My bike has been stolen. My bike has been stolen twice as well. Yeah. Well, now how can I say? I work now with an electric bike, sorry. Before I used to work with a normal bike, and at the end of the week I was wrecked. You know, like, if I just straight my body, my legs were with cramps, and it was very painful. As well, I lost weight. I lost like 5 or 6 kilograms since I arrived. So it is hard, and, well, it demands as well a lot of energy. You have to eat more, you have to rest properly. Otherwise, you cannot do this job. Like,
So in the future, as we move and we learn how we're going to work differently, you know, I think the roles of the workplace have already changed and will evolve. And so, you know, working at home suits some people, working in an office suits some people, and a balance of all that, or a mixture of all that, is probably best of all. How I see this working, I mean, I don't want to leave here, right? This is where I want to be, because it just makes sense, and that community works really well for me. And for me, that kind of the remote piece of it, in that having those clients in various different places around the world, I can do perfectly well from here. And I think that we're going to find a solution where, you know, this type of office environment we'll need more of them. I think that people will use this space where it's kind of flexible, and you know, maybe more of the hot desking that we were talking about earlier on, but you know, a kind of situation where you may work from home for a couple of days, you may work in a place like this for a couple of days, and then you may go to Dublin to the office, or to Galway to the office, or wherever it is, wherever, you know, where the rest of the team is, once a week or something like that. That's the way I see it happening, but who knows, things are evolving all the time.
yeah, we're a group of riders that are working with Zip2 now. So this campaign is for riders, to riders. It's not a political campaign or something that can be biased. You know, this is just for improve our work conditions and get better payments. And Zip2 is helping us to organize the union, because there are people that are very, very experimented. And us, or at least me, I'm coming from different countries, I don't know how to organize a group that I don't know how the law works. I don't know what should I do if I had to organize a group of friends to demand something better. So SIP2 is helping us with this.
A spokesperson for Deliveroo said, Deliveroo is proud to offer flexible self-employed work to more than 1,000 riders in Ireland. Riders can choose when, where and whether to work, enabling them to fit their work around their lives and other commitments. Riders who choose to ride for Deliveroo say that the flexibility we provide is their primary reason for driving with Deliveroo. At Deliveroo, we do not believe flexibility should be traded off against security. We were the first delivery company to offer all riders free insurance, protecting them if they are involved in an accident while working with Deliveroo. The safety of riders is our absolute priority, and we take every step to ensure riders feel safe when on the road. We have a dedicated rider team to ensure riders always feel supported.